Hello, divine creations, divine marvels, children of God. Thank you so much for joining in. Hi, Germana. Forever loving everything. Welcome. Yes, and welcome to people from all around the world. Thank you so much for joining in. So, here we are together again, and I'm just utterly delighted to be here with all of you and to be here with our dear friend Bruno Groening. He once said, I am always with you. Really, I'm paraphrasing here, I don't have the exact words, but he said, I am really with you. I am not just saying this, really believe. So, a very warm welcome. A very warm welcome to our dear friend Bruno Groening. So, Bruno Groening said, God is in every living being. Wow, that's a strong statement. That's, it's the 21st century, and those of us on a spiritual path, we've heard that, you know, but keep in mind, Bruno was talking in the 1950s in Germany. But even so, for us who have heard it to really take it to heart, oh my God, oh my God, God is inside of me. Oh my God, God is inside of my cat who's there on that bed. And oh my, God is in my neighbor, in the person who hurt me. God really is in every living being. It's a very profound way to live, to to try and be mindful of that. So let's take in some good energy that can help us to be mindful of this. And Bruno Groening taught us such a simple way to do that. Please sit with your legs uncrossed, feet flat on the floor. Hands on your legs, palms facing upwards. And then begin to observe the body. And close your eyes and think of something that makes you joyful. And then begin to observe your body, having the will, the intention to receive this good energy. Noticing what you feel, and specifically noticing it with the intention to take in this good energy. Observing the body, taking in the good. Noticing what you feel, taking in this good energy, asking to be shown the truth. Certainly don't take my word for it, but we don't even have to take Bruno's word. We can ask to be shown. Is it true? God is in every living being. taking in this energy with faith, really believing, really believing in the good and being open to having the truth revealed to you. Welcome, Ross. And welcome to everyone who's joined in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Woo! It's a faith energy party. I love gatherings like this where we take in this energy together and we just focus on what's good. So here's a quote from Bruno Groening. Each human being and this body, which was created by God, is and remains divine and is still divine, even when the human being has been seized by evil and is led by evil. Wow. Our friend Bruno Groening can say a lot in one sentence. So, first of all, the human being, us, each one of us, is divine. That's a revolutionary statement right there. But Bruno also points out that the body is divine, that the body was created by God, that these bodies are a gift to us. Bruno once said, I'm gonna have to paraphrase, but he said, if you contemplate the body, you'll understand the glory of God, that God reveals himself in the magnificence of this body. So let's do that now. Let's just reflect on the amazement, just how amazing these bodies are. So the human body contains approximately 37.37 trillion cells. Around, let's just say 30,000 trillion cells. Now keep in mind, each cell is like its own universe. Each cell has different parts that are literally like organs. Just as this one body has these different organs with different functions, every single cell in our body has these different parts. I remember one from my high school biology, the mitochondria. And we have 37 trillion of them. And that, of course, is just one. And of course, each cell is like a living being. Each cell is alive and active and doing things and governed by a higher power, guided, given life and vitality. So that's just one simple fact about the glory of our body. Let's really take in this good energy into this body. Let's nourish this body. Let's nourish those 37 trillion cells. Just reflect on how amazing these bodies are. Observing the body, taking in good energy. noticing what you feel. You can always ask our dear friend Bruno for help. So again, Bruno Groening said, being has been seized by evil and is led by evil. So Bruno pointed out that there's something inside of us that while it can be grasped by evil, it can't be corrupted. But once the soul, he said, which is where the divine spark, and if I understand his teaching correctly, where God lives inside of us, it can't be corrupted, but it can certainly be grabbed a hold of and taken on a very unfun journey. And every day, to some extent, probably each one of us is dragged around at least a little by evil. And every fearful thought that we believe creates a reaction in us, a feeling or an action. As I was driving somewhere this morning, and some just really negative thoughts came my way about a situation in my life, and I was really peaceful, and then all of a sudden, it's like I just felt so yucky, and it was just one thought after another, and luckily I was able to stop it. I recognized what was going on, but it left a little bit of a lingering impact. Now, if I hadn't, and this is a situation involving another person, and let's say I hadn't caught the thoughts and stopped it, and Bruno said it just snowballs, what would I have done? I would have gone and acted poorly, right? It's a situation involving another person, and so I would have, um, in some way, if I hadn't caught it, and not just me, anyone, we behave less than kind, less than well, when we take in these negative thoughts, and then they create negative feelings, and then they lead to negative actions. So every time we're feeling unwell or acting unwell, it's because we've been, to some extent, seized and led by evil. And so this process, Bruno spoke about what we're doing. You can also be displaced. You who have been moved from the place where God put you. So we were in a place of health and alignment, and goodness and happiness, and we've been displaced by evil. As you have now become obedient to God, so we recognize, like, oh, this doesn't feel good. There's kind of the big decision of like, I want to follow God, follow the good, and then there's moments of being like, oh, I don't feel good. I want to realign with God. I want to become obedient. I want to follow. I want to be in harmony. I want to serve God. As you have now become obedient to God, you slowly get back to the place from which you were displaced. So the good news is, once we begin the great turnaround, once we decide for God, then we get moved back to that place of health and harmony and happiness. The, you know, challenging news is it's a slow process. Bruno said here, we get slowly moved back. It's not like everything is then suddenly perfect forever. It's a process. And then Bruno calls us to reflect on every thought and word and deed and decide whether or not they're worthy to be taken up or acted upon. So we have our part in that process. So let's reflect on all this, observing the body, taking in good energy, deciding, yes, I want to be in alignment, which is one of the meanings of Einstein. I want to be in alignment with the good, with love, with harmony, with God. And part of it's being humble and acknowledging that we've made bad decisions and deciding we want to do better. Observing the body, taking in this good energy. Noticing what you feel. Deciding again, yes, I want to be in alignment with the good. Maybe we have to decide 1,000 times a day until that becomes our new habit. Here's a quote, another quote from Bruno. As long as God is sought only from the outside, no one can find him. It is only when one succeeds in bringing one's own vibration into line with the divine vibration that one will experience him inwardly. There he does not need to be then he does not need to be searched for anymore. It's an interesting phrase. Bring one's own vibration into line. That's my understanding of one of the meanings of Einstein, to align ourselves. So yes, we are taking in this energy. We're also aligning, harmonizing. For example, if you have two guitar strings and you pluck one, let's say you have two guitars next to each other and you pluck one at like a C, then the corresponding one on the other one will start to vibrate in sync. So this one vibrates a lot, and then this one will start to, I can't do both at the same time, I'm trying, and this one will vibrate a little bit in harmony with this one. And that's what I think we're doing. Bringing ourselves into alignment with the big guitar string. We're the little guitar strings. And we're bringing ourselves in alignment with the big guitar string, God, that's emanating this beautiful song, this beautiful love. So that was from Powers of the Spirit, page 290, 203. As long as God is sought only from the outside, no one can find him. Now it's interesting, Bruno said only from the outside. I've heard many, there's many, it's really popular in my town that God isn't outside at all. God is only inside. And that if you look outside yourself at all, that's bad. And that's not what Bruno said. Bruno said God is everywhere. And again, he said, as long as God is sought only from the outside, no one can find him. It was really sad. Someone came to an introduction that I hosted. Someone with some health problems. They're very open spiritually. I was so excited. I knew this person. She's not a close friend, but someone I'm friendly with. I've seen around town. I was so excited that she came. And at the end, she said, why do we have to look outside of ourselves? Why do we have to take in energy? Why can't we just love ourselves and heal that way? And I was so sad because because spiritual ideas can get in the way. The two aren't mutually exclusive, that we can take in this good energy and that we can do things that can really help and assist the healing process. Um, like oh, I don't need Bruno's help. I don't need God's help. God lives within me. It's like, uh, I don't quite know what to say to statements like that. Obviously I didn't argue. I was just sad. Um, what I think what I would say now if someone said that is, um, it doesn't have to be one or the other. God can live inside of us, and um, this act of humility and this act of aligning with big God or with the whole or with everything or with source. Um, I don't know. It doesn't. um, I don't know if I have it. I'm feeling a little tongue twisted. I just go with what works, and I also know that I really trust what Bruno teaches, and ultimately what Bruno said is, if you observe the body, the truth will reveal itself to you. So then you don't have to say, well, this book said, or even say, well, Bruno Groening said. You can just do this practice and um, become convinced. And having experienced multiple spontaneous remissions of illnesses, I'm convinced that um, observing your body with the intention to take in good energy, energy from God, with the help of Bruno Groening, with faith and trust, and not dwelling on the illness, for me, it's a fact. It heals. So let's reflect on all this. Sorry if I got a little riled up. It's just I live in a town. I live in a very spiritual town, and there's a lot of. I used to love it, and now sometimes it can feel challenging. So let's take in this energy and just be open to aligning ourself with God, with the whole, with that which made us. Really taking in the good, really aligning our vibration, bringing it in line with the divine vibration. Hmm. I'd like to thank everyone for dropping by. And so we looked at the idea that God is everywhere and in every living being. We looked at the idea that these bodies are a creation of God and are divine, as is the human being, which when Bruno says human being, I believe he's referring more to the soul. That the body and the soul remain divine, even when they're um, grasped by or surrounded by evil and then hence forced to do evil. And then Bruno points out that um, looking just outside of ourselves for God doesn't work, that we want to bring something inside of ourselves into alignment with God. And then when we do that, then, he said, then we'll find God within us. So I'd like to thank everyone for joining in. And we'll be doing this again real soon. For anyone who's new, you can find out more information on my website, www.thehealingstream.org. And I do these gatherings often here on YouTube. So feel free to come on back and see when the next one is, or subscribe. And I think you get notifications when you do that. So once again, thank you to everyone for joining in. And let's close with a minute or so of silence, asking to have the truth revealed to us. Asking that we be full of good energy so we can go out and do good, so we can go out and serve. Asking for guidance, that we're being led through our days. Asking for peace and calm so we can stay connected to God and be guided. And please release from everything that gets in the way of us being of more service. You're welcome, Gerald. Welcome. Thanks so much for dropping by. All right, dear ones, have a beautiful morning, afternoon, and evening. You divine creation, you divine marvel, you child of God. Thanks so much for dropping by. Have a beautiful day.